It is time to battle for the hearts and minds of mankind. Today I'm going to be presenting the ontological argument. If you're unfamiliar with what the ontological argument is, it's an argument that Christians like to use against atheists. You'll see what it is in a second, but it basically has a very bizarre line of logic. It basically tries to use science to defeat science. They're trying to kind of twist your mind a little bit in the way that you could perceive logic and whatnot in order to justify what they believe. And it's just very bizarre. Let me show you what it is. Okay. The ontological argument. Things exist. It's number one. Number two, it is possible for those things not to exist. Yeah. Whatever has the possibility of non-existence, yet exists, has been caused to exist. Oh, yes. Very simple deductive reasoning, my friend. There cannot be an infinite number of causes to bring something into existence. Therefore, there must be an uncaused cause of all things. The uncaused cause must be God. Oh my God, why didn't I fucking think of this? I just became a Christian. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna have to redo my whole channel. I'm gonna have to rethink all my life decisions. I mean, I didn't expect this to happen. I'm a Christian now. Anyway. Well, I believe it is time to dive headfirst into the bullshit. And I swear to God, I don't have a scat fetish. But anyway, with the argument that the ontological argument is trying to present, they're basically saying that they're trying to use the law of conservation, that every action has to have an equal and opposite reaction. Therefore, you can't go backwards infinitely. They're basically saying there has to be an uncaused cause, to put it in simple terms. The problem with this, though, is that you can just apply that line of reasoning to God. You know, what is it that created God? You know? It doesn't make sense when you apply it to that. So let's examine every piece of the ontological argument. I'm going to kind of read these and give my little rebuttal. So anyway, the first premise, things exist. Yeah, I guess things do exist. This couch exists, this pillow exists, I live in my house that exists. So yeah, that's sound. Number two, it is possible for those things not to exist. I guess the question I would have to ask in regards to that is, how do they know? How do they know? What if all this stuff had to exist and there was no other option? Like, you know, how did they come across this knowledge? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, number three, whatever has the possibility of non-existence yet exists has been caused to exist. And I guess you can chalk this one up to being somewhat true, I guess, in a sense. Because you have the law of conservation once again, and, you know, every action has the equal opposite reaction. Therefore, everything that does exist is a result from a state of matter that was once initiated through this process. It was initiated through some kind of, action or event that caused energy. I'm not going to put too much stock into it, but yeah. Basically, based on the law of conservation, things exist. I mean, it's such a simplistic line of rhetoric that, you know, I don't want to put too much stock into it, but number four, there cannot be an infinite number of causes to bring something into existence. And the question that I would have to ask is, how do you know? How the fuck do you know? What scientific evidence do you come across to bring you to this conclusion? Are these people, you know, theoretical physicists? Do they know this for a fact? No, they don't. So if they don't know this for a fact, they can't really use it in this little fucking argument that has all these, that can't even hold water. You know, I think there's probably a good chance that the universe might be infinite. Because if you think about it, with the law of conservation, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If the universe has a, if we know that there is no God in the universe, if we can't figure out what the cause of the universe was, then it could very well just be infinite, and it could just go on forever. You know, I actually kind of believe that that could be the case. You know, I don't know for sure, but with science, we need to be asking these questions. We need to be moving toward the correct answer instead of saying, well, God did it. But nonetheless, 5. Therefore, there must be an uncaused cause of all things. And I'm going to ask the same exact question. How do they know? Why can't there be an uncaused cause of all things? Why can't the universe be infinite? It could very well happen. And of course, number 6, the uncaused cause must be God. Why does it have to be God? Like, this line of reasoning is so shoddy and so full of holes that it just can't hold any fucking water. You know, obviously this is like, in a sense, it's playing on the fact that we don't know everything about the universe, and therefore playing onto the God of the gaps argument that Christians like to use. Whenever there's a gap in scientific knowledge, they just put God in the blank and say, well, this must be God. We don't know the explanation of this scientific question, so it must be God. I mean, in reality, these Christians have been doing this for centuries upon centuries. The God of the gaps argument is a very popular argument to be used. So yes, it must be God. You know, if we don't understand something, it's got to be God. So, I kind of want to point out that in the ontological argument, Christians are basically trying to use logic and science to defeat logic and science. And I just want to give Christians like a forewarning that if you attempt to do that, it's not going to work, because the purpose of science is to uncover the truth. If you use the scientific method to try to debunk other things that were discovered by the scientific method, then that's just going to cancel it out. It's just not going to work for you. If you use science, you cannot then disclaim science in a later instance. So, the ontological argument is just, it is a very interesting argument, and it should be considered. It appears as if the atheist argument was much too powerful in this instance. We are much too intelligent for you to even fathom. But, anyway, I hope you liked this video. Maybe give you something to think about during the day or something like that. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out. I'll see you next time.